What's up YouTube? It's Mark again, back with another Kaladesh video. And this one it's going to be a little bit different. I'm actually just going to be showing you my winning 5-0 pre-release deck. And as you can see, it was red-white, and I did go with 16 lands this time. Alright, and here are my lucky sriracha sleeves. Shuffle well. But yeah, I am going to break this down into different sections. So starting off with removal, because I think in a sealed pool or even in a draft pick, removal is the first thing you're going to want to look at. Starting off with our lowest mana cost, I had a Fragmentize. You know, yeah, it's sorcery speed, but this card will save you. It's worth running. It's not the best, but it is worth running. Impeccable Timing. Not to be confused with Sky Whaler's Shot. You got one that does 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature, and then Sky Whalers is actually going to do destroy target creature with power 3 or greater. So we got those two. Pressure Point, not exactly removal, but it's useful to tap down something big, you know, like a sky ship or whatever. And it's a cantrip, meaning it replaces itself. Welding Sparks is always good. Synergizes with all your servos, etc. And Furious Reprisal, this card, if you play it right, can be a real game changer. I like to just, when I'm setting up to kill, like say they have 2 4/4s and I have 2 2/2s, I'll set my hand down real nonchalant, declare my attackers, and they'll declare blocks, and both of their guys will have 2 health remaining. Mine will both die, but then I'll pop that, and then boom. They're both dead. But yeah, so that was it for removal. Moving on to utility. I had one combat trick. Built to last, pretty decent card. And then just to get some more servos out, we got Cogworker's Puzzle Knot. Decent card. Probably wouldn't run more than one of these, and I did have 2 in my pool. I only ran 1. Next, moving right on to just regular creatures. Gearshift Ace, and I want to say something about this guy. It actually happened twice throughout the tournament, and it was a very game-changing play. When I would have out the Ace, and I would be using him to pilot a vehicle most of the game. So they would just have it in their mind that, yeah, he gives first strike to the vehicle, but they're not really, I guess, reading the card. Because multiple games I had where after they blew up my vehicle or whatever, if I swung with him, they would block with like a 3/2, and then they would be waiting for me to put him in the graveyard, and I would say, sorry bud, he has first strike, and they would just be flabbergasted, just like, what, he has first strike? It's like, yeah man, I'm sorry. So yeah, that's one thing that worked out for me several times. Speedway Fanatic, obviously really good, gives your vehicles haste. Thriving Grubs, I can't count how many times I used him as a pilot. Just getting him out, piloting in a vehicle. Hellion, probably not going to see a lot of constructed play, but it actually did really well in this aggro deck. This was a really fast deck, guys. He would usually live 2 or 3 turns. And Salivating Gremlins. This card, I feel like I barely even drew it, but yeah, it was in there. And then I just have some more. These are all 4-drop creatures. Nothing too crazy. Pioneer's probably the best out of these because having a flyer can just be a game changer in this format. I mean, if they don't have a Thopter to block this guy, he's going to get in for like 6+ damage a lot of the time. These were the main vehicles I had. I love the freighter, guys. I call it the pain train. It had to have won me at least 3 or 4 games, just this card alone, because if you get out a pilot, especially a turn 2 Anakin Skywalker is what I call him. Speedway Fanatic, turn 2, turn 3 freighter, swing for 5. Like, that's just brutal, 5/4 trample on turn 3. Ballista Charger's decent too. I ran this over the Aradara Express because Aradara has crew 4, I believe, and it's like a 8 something. But just too hard to crew. I like to stick with the lower crew numbers. And I did have one more vehicle, which is I put in the next section, which was card draw. This deck, part of the reason it succeeded was because I was able to move through my cards. Using these early game Smugglers Copters were great, just for drawing and discarding extra lands, etc. Really like this card. Quicksmith Genius, I think I only played it like once, but nonetheless, another good way to filter through your deck. And then Filigree Familiar, as a lot of you have probably heard, this is just one of those cards that if you get it in your pool, I mean, you're pretty much going to run it in whatever deck in Limited. It's a cantrip, assuming they don't, do something crazy, but yeah, not a bad card. And then lastly, I have what I consider my win conditions, or finishers. Malphus Doorbuster, I did drop him earlier mid-game a couple times, but basically if I could save him till later when I just really needed to get in for that last bit of damage, he's really good for that. And then of course Eddie Trail Hawk. And a lot of people probably don't view this as a finisher, but there were a couple games that I actually got in that last, 2 to 4 damage just because I was able to give another target attacking creature flying. So, interesting note, always think out of the box on ways to finish off the game. And yeah, overall it was just a very fast deck. Ended up going 5-0. I only lost a couple games throughout the night. Interesting note, there was another guy that went 5-0, and after we decided to split at top 4, I called him out. I said, hey, friendly match, let's just play for shits and giggles, and we did. And the first game didn't really count because he got mana screwed, but he wrecked me the second game. He had Skysovereign, Nissa, Aether Squall Ancient, and something else, but he got them all out pretty quick. And yeah, this deck, everybody says, sealed pool, it's all about your luck, but I did get some synergy, I suppose, and some good cards, but really, there's not really any bombs in this deck. I just played it well. I took my time. I read the cards. I didn't make, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I really didn't make too many mistakes. And when it's late at night and stuff, people are really bound to make mistakes. So you just gotta take your time, Alright everybody, so thanks for watching. I do have a couple other Kaladesh videos. One of them I opened a couple pre-release packs, and one of them I opened the 13 prize packs that this deck actually won me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.